Hello there. Welcome. As you're coming on, let me know that you're here. We are here on the first Tuesday of the month instead of Monday because, of course, we had our Labor Day. Yes, I get Memorial Day and Labor Day mixed up. But welcome. My name is Barb Ryder. I'm a Stampin' Up! Independent demonstrator, and I am here to share some projects that you can get for free when you place an order with me this month. Hey Sue, Nancy, welcome everyone as you're jumping on. I see several of you. I hope that you'll stay. I know sometimes you get my information in your feed and you're not sure what's happening, but I encourage you to stay and just see and check out what it is that I share and that I enjoy doing. So as you're coming on, make sure that you're letting me know that you're here. We have 4 projects that I do every month that you will get for free when you purchase with me of $30 or more. And then for $50, you also get a free embellishment. And this is the last month that you can also get free product. Thank you for sharing, Sue. Hi, Linda. Welcome. All right, I am going to get started, and as everyone is jumping on, like I said, you can let me know if you're here. If not, you can always get this at a later date by coming back to the group page and go to the videos, or you can check it out on YouTube if you subscribe to my channel, which is basically my name, Barb Ryder. Make sure that you hit the notification after you subscribe so that you will get notified when I upload videos. And I'm currently in the middle of my 12 weeks of fall, and I just uploaded one yesterday, so go check that out. I really like that card specifically. It has kind of a vintage fall feel, so you gotta go check it out. All right, I see a few more of you. Hi, Jeanne. Okay. So I am going to go ahead and turn you down, and we're going to get started with our stamping, okay? So let's go here. I just want to share a little bit. If you have not, I mentioned Celebration a couple seconds ago. This is items that you can get for free when you spend $50 or more. Hi, Lynn. I just saw you jump on here. Tonight I'm going to share one product out of here. And but we're not going to use it in the way that it is shown here in this little mini catalog, but there's all kinds of fun stuff in here. If I can get to the right page, we are going to use this penguin paper, and we are going to make a different kind of card with it. So the other thing I want to share is, like I said, every $50 that you spend, you can get something for free out of the Celebration catalog. One of the nice things, especially if you are a brand new stamper, is our paper pumpkin. And if you choose the 3-month option, you will be able to get a free item along with your 3 months of the paper pumpkin that you're going to get. And this is basically a kit in a box with everything contained. It's awesome. If you like to just sit down and everything's right there, you're all set. You might need some scissors, but besides that, it has adhesive, all kinds of things, so you are all set. But I wanted to share that and remind you guys of those things. All right, I'm going to move these things out of the way, and we're going to get started with our first card. The first card is going to be what I call monochromatic. Monochromatic simply means same tones or same color. Hi, Diana. So as you guys are jumping on here, don't forget to give me hearts and love. That helps everything as it's pushing through Facebook world, you know. And then subscribe on YouTube. If you are finding me just now on YouTube, make sure that you follow me on the Facebook page, which is Stamp with Barb Ryder. I'm going to tell you these measurements really quick. This is 2 3/4 by 4, very vanilla. So 1/4 inch larger, which is 3 by 4 1/4 of crumb cake. And then this is a layer that I'm going to add. This is a 4 by 5 1/4, and then our base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 of the very vanilla. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Diana. Thanks for joining, you guys. So those are the pieces, all right? So this is going to be card number 1. And so the first thing we're going to do, I had shared this technique a long time ago. Let me get you there where you can see. And basically, it's just a fun background, okay? And this just fits this perfectly. So I'm going to use crumb cake. And I'm going to come in here with the crumb cake. There we go. Anyway, I'll bring it right here. Now, this is a package from some soft suede cardstock I opened, and I'm basically just using this plastic. And so what I'm going to do is take the paper piece. I'm up here, see me in the corner where my face is at. I'm going to just take the plastic, just like that. Hi, Colleen. Hope you're doing well. Good to have you here. So I'm going to take this plastic, and I'm just going to crumple this up. All right, I'm going to crumple this up. And what I'm going to do is take this crumply stuff, I'm going to ink it up so that there's ink on here, but I want to make sure that I have some shapes. So I'm going to come on to watch what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to tap this all on the outside of my card with that ink. And look at the technique that you can see there. See that? This is just a really cool, cheap, inexpensive rather, cheap doesn't sound good, right? Way to make a background. Good to hear, Colleen. All right, so that's the one layer that we're going to put on top of our base vanilla. And then I don't use this again, I just throw it away because it's pretty messy. So there we go. So let's take that, we're going to move it out of the way. All right, so this little piece of vanilla, we are going to be using the crumb cake. And I didn't show you what stamp set I'm going to use here. So I'm going to take this with all my pieces. And I'm using the Friends Are Like Seashells. Now, I had a class with a special fold on this a while back. And some beautiful cards, and I'll show you those real quick once we get done with what I have going on here. But this is a nice set. It's got some really good sayings, and with seashells, it just gives you some unique sayings that go with this. There's also a hybrid die and a hybrid embossing folder. Sorry, my head's kind of over to the side. That you can use with this. Thanks. I'm glad you like that technique, Diana. But here we go. I've just got my dies in here. It's just a one-piece die, and you can see some pieces are in there. But it makes such cool stuff. There's also some other ones in there where it cuts out the shells, also cuts out the, there's a sand dollar, that kind of thing. Okay, so that's the set we're using. All right, what are we going to do first? So I'm going to take this big piece. These are actually a little smaller than what they are. It said, you can see here, it says 75% image is shown at 75% the actual image. So here is the actual image. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this up. I've got my ink over here to the side. I'm just tap so that I have ink on here. But I don't want this full strength. So I'm going to stamp it off. I'm going to stamp it off again. And then I am going to take this and about, I don't know, 1.5 inches down, I'm going to stamp that down. Now it's going to be pretty light. See that? See how light that is? But I want that to be light because this is kind of going to be sand. Then we have this little speckle guy. I'm going to take it full strength, and I think I'm going to stamp off once because that's pretty dark. I'm going to stamp. So these are kind of like sea pebbles. And I'm just going to kind of put these over top of that sand area there. Let me bring that up so you can see. See that? All right. So there's that. The next thing we're going to do is stamp some shells. I'm going to close up this crumb cake, and I'm going to go to the gray. Now, I'm still staying with some neutral colors here. Hi, Linda. And I'm going to go ahead and with the gray instead of all with the brown. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I am going to go ahead and I'm gonna change my mind, and we're going to go back to crumb cake. Because monochromatic is just kind of all the same color, like I said. So I think I'm just going to stick with the crumb cake, y'all. All right, so I'm going to take this really cool shell, and these are kind of the distinctive looking a little bit. And what that means is that it has all these really variations in it. See that? All right, I want this full strength, so I'm going to ink that up. And the other thing is, excuse me, when you're inking up your stamp, you don't have to squish it down really hard. I'm going to bring this up here. So if you are a newer stamper, you got your ink pad, you're going to take your stamp and watch. See, this is pretty clear, but watch how it gets dark. See that? Then you have plenty of ink. Okay, so I'm going to take that shell and let's see, let's stamp it right there. Just like that. And then I'm going to put this aside, and I am doing masking. Now, you don't have to do masking. What I've done is I basically stamped this on a Post-it note, cut it out, and I'm going to cover this up. But I actually, I think I have plenty of room, and I think I can do this without having the mask. Yeah, I think I'm just going to, I just have the mask just in case, so I don't know that I really need the mask. I'm going to take this stamp, and because it's polymer, I can see right where I need to be next to this other shell. Oh, that turned out perfect. See that? See how it's on the sand? Awesome. Okay, got that part. So there's that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the saying that says, "Happy birthday to my beautiful friend." Going to ink that up, same color. Like I said, we're going to stick with this crumb cake, and this is a nice neutral color. And let's see, I think I'm gonna let's see, let's stamp that straight down right there. Make sure I stay in here, and I'm gonna go back to this big piece that's solid, ink that up, stamp it off again, and I'm gonna just go right over top of my happy birthday, just to give that a little bit of a highlight. See that? Of course, we've got to add some little sand pebbles in there, but I'm going to stamp that off because I don't want that very dark. I'm just going to do that very lightly because I really don't want those to, there we go, mess with my saying. Hi, Shar, how you doing? Okay, so here's what I have, but we're going to do this a little bit different. We're going to use the ripping technique, and I will tell you guys that this is one of the first techniques I learned 20 plus years ago when I started stamping. What I did to give some what do I want to say, some dimension to our stamping. Get out of here. Some dimension to our stamping. And what it does is it actually gives you that more of a 3D kind of look, because we didn't have all the embossing folders way back then, you know. All right, so what I do is I rip towards me, and it's a controlled rip. So I'm going to come right like this, just kind of give it some character with ups and downs, and there I've got the ripping, and this looks like the feathered edge. Now I'm going to come back over here, and when you rip towards you, I'm right-handed, so when you rip towards you, you get that feathery look. See how that's kind of feathery looking there? And I want that on this side, so I'm going to turn it this way, and now I'm going to come up here, and I'm going to rip this. Like I said, give it some character there. Okay, now that's where this piece comes in. The next thing I'm going to do is find my adhesive right here, and we are going to add this onto the crumb cake layer. Now I see I have a shadow going on in here. I've been trying to get my lighting just right, and it just seems like it's not happening for me. Nope. Sorry, guys. See if that's any better. Well, it looks like you can see okay when I look up at when I'm looking at the screen here. All right, so we're going to take this. This is going to have that little bit of a 1/4 of an inch around the all three areas, just like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier. Follow these cool lines, making sure that the feathery look is happening. See that? And it kind of reminds me of sand, right? So then we're going to take this piece, and because it's the same size, I can take this, and I might not have to rip again, it just depends. We're going to take this and make sure my feathery side is up, and I'm going to lay this down, just like that. And maybe I'll take and pinch a few areas here, just to make it kind of follow the original design. See that? Okay, just like that. See that? That's so pretty. All right, so what are we doing next? We're going to put our card together. We're going to take this layer that we did that cool technique with, and that's going to get mounted onto the base card, just like this. So, there you go. Alright, it's not too late. See, I do not like that lighting. Oh, let me get that in the way there. There we go. So it's, what I was going to say is it's not too late for beach cards. Hi, Donna. We're going to take this piece, and we are going to pop this up with dimensionals. Now, I know some of you live in an area where you have the beach around all the time. Here in Michigan, it's going to start getting cold on us, you know. And we don't really have beaches close by. We've just got all those beautiful lakes, but you got to go to them. I don't live anywhere close to where they're at, though. All right, so here we go. This is going to go here. And this one is, I'm going to put some more dimensionals on this one. So this isn't a fancy super duper kind of card, but it's a different technique that I wanted to share. And I'm going to show you a card that gave me inspiration. So, you know, when I get swaps from other demonstrators, I always, and I'm going to shift this over a little bit so it's not right lined up with that other one, to give some interest on the card. There you go. But what I was saying is that I save a lot of them, especially if they are great layouts. Now, I'm going to show you, this is a retired one, but I want to see who remembers this. So I just did my own twist on this card right here, just like that. Now, this has some of the green in the background. They don't have the layer. I added the layer, but like I said, I just did my own little twist, and I thought that the shells were perfect for that. So there's card number 1. If you are a new stamper, I hope that wasn't too overwhelming, and I'm hoping that you can just take whatever stamp set you have and you can do this card yourself. Oh, thunder. I know we're supposed to get some rain, but I haven't heard any thunder yet. Hopefully nothing happens with my internet, you guys. All right, so let me take my chamois and clean these up so that we can move to the next card and share some other ideas. And so yeah, I see quite a few of you on here. Thank you for joining me. I sure appreciate you stopping by. I just need to make space so we can go to our next card, because I've got everything kind of in this. I got a lot of stuff going on here tonight. Okay, I got to move this out of the way. Okay, keep my little masking. So the next card that we are going to do is going to be using the, oh, you know what? I know I've showed these before, but I wanted to share with you. Here is some cards using that stamp set with the dies. This was one from our class. And by the way, if you are an experienced stamper and you're interested, I do have one of these kits left. It is $30 and you've got to pay for shipping, but I have everything from the class. But look at that, isn't that cool? Look at this one. Stands up like that. This was not in the class. Okay, this one was in the class. This one is a nice, really nice stand-up card. All right, so there you go. This one was not in the class either. It was these 4 designs. So let me know if you're interested in that. Okay, what's next? Storms and hail. We don't want that. All right, you guys. I'm going to bring out this Garden Wishes. This is a stamp set that has images that aren't necessarily, you don't have to use them like dandelions, and I'm going to show you that. But look at these cool dies. I have a couple of the dies over behind me here on my table with the emboss and cut machine, and I use them to create our next card. We're also going to be using the double oval punch and Misty Moonlight and that stamp set. Okay, so let me grab these pieces. Well, you'll see the dies when I pull out these pieces here. So this is the card that we are using, the free celebration paper. So I'm going to pull all that out. We're going to use fresh freesia, which is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. So we're going to be using that. I have this designer paper. Let me pull this out of the way. Designer paper pieces here, and I will give you those measurements. And of course, you do get a color tutorial. And if you're part of my team, you actually get these tutorials for free. So that's one of the great things when you're part of my team. And there's an awesome special going on right now, you guys. Free bundle plus, you get $125 in product for $99. So I can tell you more about that if you're interested. So this piece is designer paper, 3 inches by 4 3/4. And see, there's the other side with the penguins and the bears. But look at that. That is not Christmas at all. So there you go. And then this little piece, you have some other designs on here, but this is a pretty striped Misty Moonlight. Dexter's having lightning and thunder and rain. Ooh. Well, I'm sure it's headed our way here in Ypsilanti. This is a 1/2 inch by 4 3/4. Okay, we got that. Then I just have a scrap here I'm going to be stamping on. But this is the fun part. You're going to get, when you get the kits from me, you get everything that is in, if there's an embossing or if there are die cuts, you're going to get those pieces. So I've die cut these 2 pieces in the fresh freesia. I have die cut this little piece of grass in Just Jade. And if you notice, there's 2 colors here. What I did is I laid fresh freesia down and I laid Just Jade down, and I put my die. Let me grab the die behind me here so you can see. I took the die and see the back side. There's a fresh freesia on the bottom and Jade is on the top. And then I cut that out just like that. Okay, so that is how I did that part. So you'll either, it might not be connected. You might have a green piece with a partial on here, and then you'll just add this. But we're going to layer this part together. So this is, I got that. I did not measure this one, I don't think. This is soft sea foam. One of the colors we probably don't use much. 3 3/4 by 5. And this is actually going to get mounted onto here. So I'm just going to do that right now so that these are not flying all over the place. All right. So this is just going to go over here with a little bit on the edge, just like that. And then, you know what, I'm going to grab my silicone mat because this is a skinny piece, and sometimes it's easy to get adhesive over the edge. And this silicone mat resists the adhesive, and that way I don't get sticky all over everything else. This is an awesome tool that I say that you need. All right. And this is all sticky here. So I just want to make sure that my pieces are matching up, top and bottom, and I think I'm off a little. I'm going to turn this so I can see better. There we go. Now I can get it better. There we are. Okay. Oops, oops, don't stick. Just like that. Okay. All right. There is our base layer. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add this. And again, I'm going to pull in that silicone mat. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some adhesive down. I'm also going to, oh, I'm stuck. This is sticky stuff. I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive down on the stem. Now, if it comes over on the sides, just roll that adhesive back on the back side where the sticky's at, okay? So that it's not on the front. You can also use liquid glue. I have gotten better at liquid glue. Some people call it green glue. It's just Tombow. All right, we're going to take this. And actually, I don't need all this stem. I should have remembered that before I put all this adhesive on here. So I'm going to take off some of the stem. So you won't want to use all the stem. There, about that much. Okay, let's take that. That's going to go right here. That is going to go down flat. The next thing is our little piece of grass. And look at this. This gives you this cool indentation in the die. All right, let's get some adhesive on here. Hold that down. So all these pieces will be cut for you. And this is just going to go kind of, let's see here. Just want it to look almost like the leaves. There we go. It's kind of like a piece of grass, but it almost looks like the leaves of the flower too. And yes, I know it's at an angle. That's what I want. Now, the fun part here is we're going to use dimensionals. I'm going to grab those, and we're going to pop these up with dimensionals. So I'm going to put a dimensional right there, and take this piece. I need to pull it up here, and I'm going to twist this so that my flower is kind of like that. It's looking cool. And I am going to use a mini dimensional on this next one because it's just a smaller center. And so you can put it on here, or you can put it on the little flower itself. Okay, let's get that one on there, just like that. Oh my gosh, is that cute? Look at the dimension in that. It's so cute. All right, next we are going to use our Misty Moonlight and use this piece here. We're going to stamp "Wishing You All the Best," ink that up. And again, we've got different stamps. I know if you're new watching me, there are red rubber, and we have the polymer. Polymer are see-through, and red rubber, you can't. All right, so there we go. And where does this come in play? We're not going to use the double part of it. We are going to just use the scallop little piece here, and hopefully I can get that in here. And what I do is I use this kind of at an angle. And, you know, here's a trick where you can take, this is just a scrap piece, and I can take some adhesive, put it on that piece, stick it on the tip where I don't need the oval, and then I've got an extra hand in here where I can line that right up. See what I did? I want to make sure that gets right in the center. And I've got to turn it a little more towards me, you guys, so I can see better. There we go. I'm going to bring that down just like that, I think. Oh, we don't have it straight. All right, there we have that. Okay. Not much stamping on this one, honestly. So what's the next step? This piece is going to be flat because we lifted up those flowers quite a bit. I'm not going to pop up this piece. This is going to be flat. And that's going to go on your fresh freesia. This is a bright and cheery card. See that? Okay. This, I think I'm going to bring it right down here. And that will get popped up, so it's about the same height as the flower. Just like this. And that's going to go kind of right over the bottom of those stem. Oh, I can hear some rain and thunder now, you guys. Okay, so there's that. But we're not done. We've got some other fun stuff. You know what else is going to really set this card off? We have these fun little trinkets, and they are bees. And in the stamp side, if you notice, there is a little bee right here. But because we have pattern paper, I thought using the Bumblebee Trinkets would be perfect. And so I have one of them here. We're going to add that to our card. And let's see, to put these on, I would always use the mini dimensionals here. Let's see. Not mini dimensionals, these are mini glue dots. Goodness. All these mini stuff. All right, and so our bee will go kind of right there towards the flower, just like that. And we could be done right there, but I also have these, the metallic pearls. I'm going to use the silver, because that just seems like it would go with kind of our blue and, well, no, I'm not. I'm going to use the gold, silliness, so that it goes with the bee. So we're going to take a metallic pearl, and I'm going to actually put one right in the center of our pretty flower. See that? And let's take a couple and come on down here. Actually, I think that's all we need, just two. I think it really is plenty. So there is our second card. What do you guys think? So Taryn is here with me, helping me, and she's shaking her head over there. Anyway, all right, there's card number 2. I really like this one, you guys. Maybe because I like the bees, because the name of my team is Barbie's Blessings. Anything bees I like. All right, so let's move these things out of the way, and we're going to go on to our third card. Again, I always share 4 cards. You get 4 card kits when you purchase with me each month by spending $30. Or if you spend $50, you get an embellishment also. In addition, this month only for September, make sure to use the host code that I posted in the description area, and it's also when I pop myself back up, you'll see it again. But use the host code so that I know that you want the card kit, okay? All right, so card number 2. Card number 3. I'm going to save the hardest one for last, okay? But it's so cool. It won't be hard for you, though. You'll have everything kind of done with all the goodies that come with it. We're going to use a color I haven't used a whole lot, which is Rich Razzleberry. And again, we're going to use some Very Vanilla. And the stamp set that we're going to use is the Simply Succulent. And just a couple of those pieces we're going to pull out. We're going to use Old Olive. We're actually going to be using the Rich Razzleberry marker. And I'll show you my inspiration for that here in just a minute too. Okay, so let's go ahead and do these measurements before I forget. So we have Very Vanilla, and we have 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Loud thunder. If I get cut off, I hope not. 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 Rich Razzleberry, that layers together. And then I have, I believe, 3 3/4 by 5. I'm getting out of the screen here, sorry guys. And then another Rich Razzleberry, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And then our card base, which is the Thick Vanilla 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, so for this particular card, we I'm going to take and kind of eyeball where I want, where I want to stamp, okay? Because see, this is going to layer on here like that. This is going to be layered on here. Let me get that up out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to take this really big stamp, and I'm going to use Old Olive. And at first, I'm going to ink it upside down because I only want to ink up kind of the lower part for right now, just like that. Okay, so the lower half. And I just want an idea of where this is going to be. This is kind of going to be right here. So I want this to be stamped like right there. Okay? It's okay that it's not all there, because see, this is going to go over top of it, just like that. All right, so now I'm going to clean. And yeah, I think the bee is really cute on there too, Jeanne. Thank you. All right, so I'm gonna clean this off, and now I'm gonna use that same Old Olive, and I'm gonna come on the top part of the stamp up here, ink that up, and then, like I said, I'm gonna come back in here with this, and I kind of want to have this coming over here on this side. So let's do that. Okay, now see, I've just kind of extended that. Okay, so that's going to go on right there. Now, I'm going to clean this one more time. and again, this is just our chamois, and it just has water on there, and I'm just cleaning this stamp off with the water. Okay, now, I'm going to grab my scrap paper again, because I need this, because we're going to go outside the little square here. Is this all the, let's see, which way do I want that? I guess it's the same. Okay, make sure I'm in here. Okay, I'm going to stamp this whole thing right on here, onto this square. I want this whole thing. So it's mainly going to be like this section right here. So what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and just ink up the whole thing in mainly the middle, but I think I probably got the whole thing in the Old Olive. And let's see here, let's go this way, since that's kind of how my thing is going. Make sure I'm mostly on the square piece, and we're going to stamp that down. Okay, so this kind of fills the whole card, right? Now, I want the whole card full, so I'm going to go ahead and ink up a little bit more. I'm going to take this little top succulent and stamp it right there. See how it filled that little corner? And then same thing down here. I'm going to fill up that corner. I just want the succulents to take up the whole thing. So my whole card is full of design, right? Okay, let's move that out of the way. And again, because this is a big stamp, I will get my arm in it. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this off so that I don't get ink all over my arm and sleeve. Okay. All right. Now, where does this rich raspberry come in? It's going to come in, and you could, and I'm just going to actually kind of take the small tip. Now, in our markers, we have a bullet tip, and we also have a brush tip. Similar to our Stampin' Blends, but these are just regular markers. So I'm just going to come in, and I'm actually just going to highlight some of this rich raspberry on the succulent, because if you've ever looked at, you know, the different colors online of succulents, they do have some like pinks and just some fun colors in besides the green. So they're not always green. Sorry, kind of halfway in and halfway out, guys. I'm trying to keep this here and my head here so you can see me when I talk. Anyway, all I'm doing is I'm just adding a little bit on this one really big one here, because all I'm doing, I just want to highlight this rich raspberry. That's it. Now, if you have blends, you could use the blends. Just use them carefully, because you are using a green and it might not work as well as using the Memento. Some colors will take the alcohol inks fine, and then other colors will bleed and look really yucky. So just be careful about that. Okay, I'm going to come in the center here and just kind of add a little bit more in the center of this. And it's very faint. It's not a lot, but it's just a highlight of the rich raspberry. And I'm just basically following wherever there are lines in that image is what I'm adding the raspberry to. All right. Just looking at the comments. So if you're just joining, thanks. I see a few more of you on here since I looked a few minutes ago. I appreciate you watching. Make sure to check out my YouTube channel for more things besides, and this will also be uploaded on YouTube, so you can go back and check. So if you do purchase, you can go back and watch the video when you get your kits and create your projects right along with me. And stop and, you know, all the fun stuff that you can do. So there's just a little bit of highlight. So I'm going to bring that up. It's not, you know, anything fancy. It's just a little bit of highlights. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and use my brush tip end. And I'm going to use the side of this marker and ink up my saying. We're going to stamp this in the raspberry. Okay, so once that's on there, the ink tends to kind of start looking like it's drying up, and all you have to do is take the stamp and just huff on it like this, just like that. And this is going to get stamped, and get out of my way here, there we go. Stamp that right down here, try to get it straight. Oh, I did a good job. There we go. So, we are ready to take this and mount it. I'm just putting adhesive on it over here on the side. We're going to mount that onto this square that we have here. Just like that. And this almost looks like a spotlighting technique, but a little bit different, okay, because we extended that long one to really extend these guys, you know, so that it kind of goes. The other thing is, if you wanted more of these guys up here, you could turn that around. You could turn it like that, so it's coming out the top part here. I think I'm going to go ahead and just put it this way so they kind of extend down like that. But I am going to pop this up using the large dimensionals. And I'm almost out. And of course, I use all the sides. You always use every little stitch of your dimensionals, right, guys? Okay. Just like this. Now, I'm not using tons of any ribbon. One little thing I'm using something. The next project has a little bit of gold thread or gold cording. But I haven't used a lot of ribbon on this tonight's project. Look at that. Ta-da! Now, the next thing is we are going to just add this right flat onto our card base. Oh, no, not our card base. Duh. Onto our rich raspberry. Then this piece goes onto our card base. There we go. Alright, so this comes right like this, and like this is cut so that you have like a quarter of an inch all the way around, just like that. And we're not done. Let's go ahead. This is where I'm going to add the silver. I'm going to add the silver metallic pearls onto this one. And let's see, let's just do one here. And let's go right here and come right up there. Just add that little bit on there. And there's our third card. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Shar. All right, so there's number 3. Our last one is a little more involved, so let me get things out of the way and grab what we need for that fabulous card. Okay, I need to clean this stamp. Okay. All right. So I really do try to give you something you can use as a mask. And oh goodness, I forgot a part of this card. Okay, so now I got to go back. I don't know if I can do it, but here's the deal, guys. When I post the pictures, you'll see. I was going to add this little bit of the vanilla ribbon right here on the bottom. Maybe I can put it underneath yet. Okay, just like that. I guess you can't really see it, actually, because I didn't pre-make this. A lot of times I was telling Taryn that, and I've told you guys before if you watch me often, sometimes I have the idea in my head and I don't pre-do it. I just have everything prepared and I stamp. And that's kind of what I did here. But let me tell you why I chose the ribbon. I'm going to show you a card. Like I said, this card is from a really old a retired set that we had. But look, I just took this idea and I created with our succulent set. Hey Mary, thanks for joining. Better late than never. You can always go back and watch the replay. If we order enough to get this card kit, will everything be stamped on it? No, no, Diana. We're not allowed to stamp the images for you. Only if I complete the card completely and send it to you, but I cannot stamp, I cannot pre-stamp anything. So you just get the pieces and then you use either the same sets that I have, if you have them in your stash, or just use another set that will work, you know. This time I've done a lot more stamping. I try to do things where you mainly just need to have a sentiment set, but not this time. This time I'm doing a little more stamping because, gosh, we got such awesome stamps. I want to use them. All right, so this last card, let me grab it behind me here. I'm stuck. There we go. Grab what I need and get all my goodies here. Let me get this over here out of the way. There. Okay. So, this card is so beautiful. All right, so we're going to use several pieces. Look at this. But again, all these pieces will be cut for you, and they will be ready for, if there's embossing, that's going to be done. If there's die cutting, that'll be done for you too. And so all you have to do is you have to stamp and then put it together, okay? So let me get all these pieces. So I have, this is card number 4, and 5.5 by 5.5 by 8.5. And then I'm going to go ahead, I did not pre-score this one, so I'm going to fold it in half and get my bone folder to make my nice crease, and so my fibers don't get all funky. So there's that. Thank you everybody. So there's our base, and we've got lots of layers, okay? So I have, this is for the inside, and that is 4 by 5.25. Then I have a piece of gray granite, and this is 4 by 5.25. We have early espresso, 3 3/4 by 4.25. We have some designer paper from In Good Taste. This is the paper that has really realistic kind of oh golly, what do I want to say? Like tile and wood grain and stucco kind of look. But we are using this piece, and this is what's on the back. It's just kind of grayish with some pinkish maybe. I just didn't get any of the pink hardly on this one. But this piece is 4 by 3.5. And yeah, it looks like a lot, but You just have to know how to put it together. That's all. But see, they're all gonna be cut for you, so you'll have it, and you can make more after you get your kit. 2 3/4 by 2 1/2. These are the basic white, and then another early espresso of 3 by 2 3/4. Look at the time. Okay. All right. First thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna take this piece. We'll go this side. And we are going to do some stamping. And you need a block C for this. And this is, so this is a block C. If you don't have block C, hi Penny, thanks for joining. Good to see you. If you don't have block C, use one that's going to fit in the square. That's all. You just need one that's going to fit in the square. Okay? And we are using Forever Fern. We're going to be using this distinctive stamp set, which has some amazing images in there. You'll see when we stamp it. All right. I'm going to use Sahara Sand as what we need. And what do we need to do? You're going to take your ink, you're going to take your block, and you're going to put it into the ink. So basically, I have a square that has ink all over it, but I do not want this dark on my card. So I'm going to stamp it off. Okay, and then I'm going to go to my block, or my white cardstock here, and I'm going to stamp it down. Okay, I'm going to push it down hard because that's what you get. Now that's still a little bit too dark. So I'm going to take this, actually I'm going to do this again because I don't want it this dark. Aren't you glad there's two sides to the paper, guys? Okay, so ink it up. I'm going to stamp off and stamp off, and now I'm going to go to my square. It was just way too dark. There we go. I wanted it a little bit lighter, just like that. Okay, so there we are. That is with Sahara Sand. Now I'm going to take the gray granite, and I have chosen this beautiful leaf. Ink that up, just tap, 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 so that my ink is all over my stamp. See, if you turn it sideways, you can see that it's wet. I'm trying to get it on there. Anyway, you can see that there's ink on there. So, and I'm not squishing. You can see I'm not squishing it down in there. All right, and then I'm going to take this and I'm going to stamp it right in the middle of what I just did with that block. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just like that. Okay. I'm going to finish stamping before I go on to building the card. We're going to put the layers together. It's not going to take but a minute. All right, this is Hello from the stamp set. Of course, you can get something that is smaller if you would like, but this is, what size is this paper? This piece of paper is 1/4 of an inch, and I have a strip here, and I'm just going to use the trick with this punch again. I've used it a few times. So if you're just joining, actually I don't need all this, so I'm going to take a piece off like that. And I want a banner, so I'm going to pull in here because I don't have that small pick-a-banner one, or I don't know what it's called exactly, but anyway, am I in here so you can see? Okay, bring it over here. Punch that down and see what happens. It gives me the banner, just like that. I am going to freehand and cut this down, just like that. And I think I want this a little skinnier, so I'm going to come down and just cut a little bit off. And I'm okay with freehanding. It's okay. It's a handmade card, you guys, so it's okay that it's not exactly perfect if you don't have it square on all sides. Yeah, it is thundering here now. I haven't seen any lightning. Have you seen any lightning, Taryn?
No, I haven't.
Yay. That's always scary when there's lightning. Okay, so let's get this out of the way since it's yucky. All right, and let's see. Oh, let's go ahead and stamp this gorgeous leaf in here. Let's ink it up again. And this is for the inside, and so it's going to be horizontal. So I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to come up here and just stamp second generation on that. See that? Isn't that pretty? Okay, we're done with the stamping. So, how do we put these layers together? This is for the inside, so let's do this. Put this together into our early espresso. Get this lined up here. Uh-oh. Tornado warning? Oh. Okay, good thing we're in the basement. We're supposed to take shelter in the basement. We're almost done. Okay, inside, outside, gray granite, which coordinates with what we stamped. That's going to be the first part that we put onto our front. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to just put this layer onto the early espresso. And then when you stamp this, make sure that you're stamping on the tall side. Okay, because this is a little bit taller than this way, right? All right, the next thing, now this is going to come together. This piece is going to come together because we're going to take this piece and we're going to emboss it. We're going to be using the timber embossing folder that is in the current mini catalog. Oh, we're safe. We're good. We're in the basement. We're all right. So this piece is going to come together and it's going to be embossed. So I'm going to bring this really close and see how it's smooth right now. I'm going to turn around behind me and I'm going to emboss this on the machine. And then I'm going to bring it up and show it to you. Hi, Elaine. Thanks for joining. All right, so I'm just going to turn around right here. And here's the timber embossing folder. We're going to take this and lay this in here. And when you're embossing, when you want to use this, the Stampin' Up! Logo up, that's what's going to give you the raised part on your piece here. So I'm going to run this through the embossing machine really quick. And give me a second here. Okay. All right, so let me show you what we got. Look at that. It's so cool. All right. So now this piece is going to go flat. Oh, can you see this side? Look at that side. And this is going to go flat onto the front of the card. Right here. And lay that down flat. The next, I don't know if I mentioned this piece. This is 1/4 of an inch by 5, I believe. Yes. And that's going to go right here. Next, I need my silicone mat somewhere. Here. Here it is. Because it's a skinny piece, so we're going to just put adhesive all down here. And this is going to go on the front. So this isn't really a hard card. The hardest part about the card is just putting all the layers together. So this is going to go right like that. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Right like that. Okay. And then now we can put this piece on. It's going to go on with dimensionals. And let me grab my mini dimensionals for this guy. Okay, so now I am to the point where I've got to cut this guy because I've used all the little pieces. But yeah, I always use all my pieces on my dimensionals. Don't throw anything away. Okay, we're almost done. This is our 4th card. And just as I'm putting this together, remember that if you use the host code, that, are you okay over there, Taryn?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I win.
All right. High winds. Okay, high winds is what they just told us. All right, so this is going to go on top of here. Now, you might think that it's going to cover all this cool stuff up, but you can see it really well. All right, next thing is we've got our hello, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of those mini dimensionals on this. And going to take this piece, we're going to just kind of do this at an angle just like that. And last but not least, we are going to take the gold cording here, and I'm going to make a teeny tiny bow. You guys, I will make this bow for you. You will not have to make this bow in your, it'll already be in your kit made, so don't worry about that if it's hard to use your fingers in making those tiny little bows. I'm very blessed to be able to still be able to do that. Someday I might not, but for now, I'm very thankful that I can. All right, so there we are, teeny tiny little bow. And how do you put this on? You are going to put this on with the mini glue dots. And what I'm going to just put this knot right down onto that glue dot and then kind of twist it and pull it off. And then because it's round and it's kind of sticking out, I'm going to just fold up the sides. And then that's just going to go right like that. So cool. Look at that, you guys. Lastly, you're going to use those gold metallic pearls to bring it all together with the gold cording, just like that. And look at that card. It is fantabulous. See your embossing there. I tell you this all the time if you watch me. It is so much more beautiful in person than what you can see on this camera. But there's the fourth card. So I still think you could use this as a masculine card, even though it's got the gold bow. I still think you could do that. So, all right, there are the 4 cards. Let me move things out of the way so we can get them all here, so you can see them all in one shot. Maybe, I'm hoping. If not, you're going to see the photo. Card 1, card 2, card 3. I'm kind of in the way here. And there's card 4. They're not all going to fit, but there we go. A little bit. But you'll see the photo of all of them. But there are the 4 cards. And before you go, I'm going to pop you back up here where I can see you. Don't forget that you have the host code right here. Make sure that you use that host code. That's going to be good for a few weeks here in September. And if you are watching this on YouTube, thank you. Subscribe, hit the bell so that you will get all the notifications for all the times that I upload. Otherwise, find me on Facebook. And this is a Facebook replay. And so I hope that you will consider ordering from me. You know, that does help me keep going. I was getting really close to earning the incentive trip, but it's just not going to happen this year. So I'm praying that next year things will be a little bit better so I can earn that incentive trip. Either way, it's still extra, keeps me going, keeps all my fun time stamping and sharing with you. And let me know if I can help you in any way. I am here to help. So, you guys have a great night, and I do appreciate you guys taking your time with me tonight. All right. Bye-bye.